Fed up with not being able to find abjuration spells? Well, so is one of our Discord users, Sinister Fear. So we decided to go through D&D Beyond and find 5 abjuration spells you can add to your campaign.
Welcome everyone, I'm Sean, this is Tony, and today we're going to be looking at 5 different abjuration spells. Now, I think the most important thing to establish is what is an abjuration spell?
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes the schools of magic get a little confusing, and I think we might actually start a series with this going through different schools of magic.
Yeah.
But abjuration spells are spells that protect.
Yeah, so think of more kind of defensive spells like counter spell, dispel magic, shield. And it's not limited to those, but that's just kind of the most basic
ones that people can normally name.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's kind of part of this. The reason why we're doing this video is because there aren't really a lot of them out there that don't do pretty much exactly the same thing. Yeah,
and we actually got this requested from one of our users in our Discord chat. And again, what was his name? Sorry, was it Phantom Fear?
Yes, I believe that was it.
Okay.
Sinister Fear.
I'm sorry. It's Sinister Fear. And thankfully this is kind of cool. I think we can actually start this whole thing where we kind of looking at the different schools of magic. But again, today we're going to be looking at abjuration.
Yep. So let's see what we've got. Now, we decided we were going to go through a couple of different spells, right? And we tried to make it so that it had, a good array of levels.
Yeah.
But again, it was really hard to actually go through there and find some of these things because every single one of them was like, it's a shield spell, but better.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Again, abjuration doesn't necessarily mean just shielding people, but again, it's along the lines of protecting and defense. So the first one that we're going to be looking at is a cantrip. This one is called Ward of Ill Luck. This one is from Matthias von Schwarzwald, and this one...
It's a good name.
Yeah, I know. It's great. So this one is a warding effect. So it's a cantrip that lasts for 10 minutes. It requires concentration. You touch a creature to grant it protection against attack. So for the 10 minutes, attacks against that target, a critical fail is now a 1 or a 2. So now if something tries to hit it and it gets a 2, it's the same as a 1. So a 2 is now a critical fail.
See, and I like this. The concentration on it is good. I know we had a little conversation about that,
we did.
Whether or not concentration on this was good or not. And I think that because it's a concentration spell, not being able to cast it on more than one person plays to it being a cantrip. If it wasn't a cantrip, then I would say, okay, concentration is not really
but since you can use this at will, now you can't use your cantrip just like, all right, you get warding, Right.
And it's a good thing. It doesn't game break anything. It's a good cantrip.
It's only a 5% decrease of on the enemy, so it's nothing huge, but at the same time it's like a nice little buff.
Yeah, and I think what happens sometimes is that people go through these cantrips, they put them on there, and they're completely overpowered.
Right.
There was one on there that was like the shield spell, but better.
Yeah.
And it was a cantrip, and it had like a reaction casting time and all that. And
I had to do a double take because shield itself is a fantastic spell. Plus 5 to your AC on a reaction? Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, again, this one's really nice. It's pretty well balanced. It's simple, and it pretty much gets the point across. Yeah,
so what was that? Ward of Ill Luck, and that was by Matthias von Schwarzwald again?
Schwarzwald,
I like that name. Dude, that's a good name.
Yeah, so the next one that we're going to be looking at, this one's called Distant Shield. It's a first level spell, and it's basically, it's a reaction spell, so it's kind of like Shield. And I know we were just talking about how it's
like Shield, but better.
But this one's actually different. So it's like Shield, but you actually do it for an ally, and the nice thing is it's actually only going to add a +3 to AC bonus rather than a +5.
So it's weaker than Shield when it comes down to it, but it's also being cast at a distance. It's a 30-foot range.
30-foot range on someone else. And this is actually really cool because, there's some people that can use, if they're within 5 feet, they can use, protection fighting style or something like that. This one's kind of cool. You can basically, protect someone from far away. It's a first-level spell. I don't think it's anything too crazy. And I like it. It's simple, but it gets the point across.
This really would have done well with that horse person that we had yesterday, our centaur player.
Gosh, yeah.
It would have been great to be able to cast this. It is a sorcerer and wizard spell, so I could have cast this yesterday.
Exactly.
It would have been kind of neat. The next one we're going to go over is one called Absorbing Ward. This one, it captures some of the momentum of the attack. So it's kind of like the idea of slowing down some of the damage and everything you've got. So you get resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage until the start of your next turn when you cast it. It is a reaction spell like most of these spells are because they're all about shielding, what have you. But also, the first attack on your next turn has a +2 to hit and deals an extra 1d10 damage.
Yeah, so it's almost like you're kind of taking this kind of stored kinetic stuff. It reminds me of the Ring of Kinetic Storage. And you kind of bounce it back at your opponent, which is really cool. Again, kind of more along the lines of that, the whole defensive thing. Second level spell only lasts for a round, so you can't really hold it for a long time. You've got to like use that attack once you get the hit. So
yeah, and sometimes you might run into a situation where that doesn't ever happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
The next one we're going to go over is not a combat spell.
No, it's actually utility, but it does protect.
Yeah, okay. It protect?
Yes, it protect, it don't attack, but most importantly, it's Wizard Seal. So this one is a 4th level spell. It's got a casting time of 1 hour, so this is going to take you a long time to actually, pull off, but the duration is until this is actually dispelled. So basically you cast this magical seal, whether it's a document, a package, a chest. Only the wizard who cast it can dispel it, or someone who actually identifies by the name of the enchanting wax can open the item.
Let's break that down here for a second. So you put this on something.
Yeah.
And so it stops them from
basically
does it make it safe, or like what is the
basically if it's like a document or a package, it basically prevents them from opening it. If they try to force the seal, it destroys it.
Well, that doesn't seem nice.
Well,
I mean, I get the security and safety, but I kind of like it.
It also increases the DC to break the lock. So if it's like a chest or a box, it's going to increase the DC to 20.
Unless somebody's got like knock.
True.
Sorry, it's the one barred thing.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Knock and but I like the idea behind it. I like this idea that the abjuration spells don't have to be just
right. It's not always in combat protection. This
right? Because there's only so much you can do with that.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of cool. Like you like let's say you have this very important information that you want to keep secret, or there's a chest that you don't want anyone else to open. Boom, plant a seal on it. It's pretty much locked for a good amount of time. It reminds me of Doctor Strange in Infinity War, where he has the very simple spell on the Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah.
Simple spell, but very hard to break. So it kind of has the same idea. This one's from user rben13. Again, it's just nice to see abjuration spell that's like more so for utility. So
yeah, and I think what does it say on here with it? Detect magic will reveal that there is a spell on this thing, and identify will reveal that the spell has been cast on an object. So it doesn't have to be like apparent to everybody.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That's cool. The last one we're going to go over is a 5th level spell. Now, we went through a lot of high level spells on this thing.
Yeah.
And I can't. I just can't sometimes. It's so much.
And I also feel like, especially in the D&D community, sometimes it's hard to, talk and argue like what's balanced and what's not, especially when it comes to 9th level spells.
Right.
Because they're built to kind of be near game breaking.
They're ridiculous half the time. I mean,
they're supposed to be.
There was one that we saw in there. It's like it makes this thing appear in front of you, and you get a coin, you throw it in. Anything that
you want happens.
Anything.
I don't see how that protects you, but hey. 9th level spells.
I think, and that was the other trouble with it too, is going through for these types of spells, and not really having people understand what the spells are supposed to do.
Especially with abjuration, because I feel like some people might kind of lose what the meaning of that school of magic is. So it was kind of hard to find something that was a higher level than like 6th. But we did find one here. It's a 5th level spell. It's called Absorb Spell. Now, it's a little similar to Absorbing Ward, but it's a little different in regards to the flavor. It's also a reaction within 60 feet. So basically, it's kind of like Dispel or a counterspell where you stop the spell from another person from happening. You make a spell casting ability check if it's 4th level or higher. Same rule applies.
Right.
10 plus the level of the spell. The important thing here is that now, until the end of your next turn, you can now cast the Absorb Spell at the same slot level without using any of your materials or your slots.
See, and I think that's cool. That reminds me a lot of like the Spell Stealer There's a spell thief in 3.5 that was really kind of cool, which I still hope that they're going to throw into this, because being able to touch your friends and grab their spell slot is kind of neat.
Like, we'll just borrow that real quick. Yeah.
But this has a little bit of that element to it, but it also has a little bit of like casting off a scroll, because you still have to make that check. It's the DC is 10 plus the spell's level. If you don't succeed on that, then it has no effect. But I love the idea of, okay, well, this big bad is casting Witch Bolt or something like that at like 10th level, and you not only are able to deflect it, but you send it right back to it.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And again, you still have to make the spell casting ability check, so I mean, it might not even go through to begin with.
True.
But you're rewarded if you are able to make the check. So this one's from Heart of... Oh, I'm so sorry. Heart of Ijuyom K2. I am so sorry for butchering that name, but
it's all right. So just so you know, when we pull these up, they're really hard to read. We're
gonna let D&DBeyond know about that. Like, to increase the text.
We will have everything listed in the description below. So don't worry about that. Everyone will get their credit.
Yeah. So we'll have links available for all of these. You can thank the creators. You can try these out in your own campaign. And it's funny that, we started with this with Abjuration, because I feel like, especially with Abjuration, sometimes it's, easy to kind of lose sight of what that school of magic is. And looking through the spells, it's interesting that we had to kind of narrow down our picks, because it was really down to, like, did this person understand what Abjuration magic is? Right,
and I think we're going to run into that a little bit with each of the different spell things.
Yeah.
And, it might be a good way to teach people, too. So it's kind of neat.
Absolutely.
Remember, you can always make your own certain types of magic too. There's chronomancy out there too, somewhere out there. But no, they're really cool.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, we did get this from one of our Discord users. If you guys have any questions, or if you want us to look into something, or make a list of something that you want us to kind of look into, please give us a shout out down there in the Discord. Send us an email, send us a Facebook message. We check all those different outlets, and we're willing to look at anything in the homebrew section.
And for anyone that's already sent us stuff, we love it. We're great with it. We're either going to do a stream where we're going to go over each one of those, or we're going to throw you into our upcoming campaigns to where you can actually see your stuff.
Yeah, we're hitting a bit of a backlog, so we're definitely going to try and get it out as soon as we can. We're so thankful for everyone that's been sending stuff in, and we're going to get to it as soon as we can.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, click everything down here, and hit the notification bell so that you're alerted when we do post something. We do have that contest still going on.
Yes, we're nearing our 500 subscribers, and when we do, we are going to give out that copy of Art and Arcana signed by Michael Whitwer. So please, if you know anyone that else is interested in homebrew content or D&D in general, let them know, have them subscribe to us, and we'll easily and happily give out that book to one of our users here.
And remember, the best campaigns are always the ones that are homebrewed. So until next time, keep brewing.